Daddy Mac. Dan's 30 years got our way, trading life and markets every day. Rusty's chained to the mines, digging deep day by day. But when Option Omega releases new features, he's free to come out and play option. Omega, you're trading home, where every move makes you feel less alone.
So much to talk about. So much to talk about.
We got a special guest.
Special guest. That's right.
We couldn't get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Couldn't get Shaquille O'Neal.
Couldn't get Halliburton.
Couldn't get Halliburton. We got
Couldn't get
Rusty
Halliburton.
from Option Omega.
Probably could have got Halliburton's dad. But that's separate.
Oh, easy,
Possibly.
easy.
With a
Yeah.
towel.
Yeah, that's a separate thing. I was going to bed last night just so happy for just for the NBA,
Yeah.
because that's exactly what you need the NBA to do during the finals. And I love the song. Just going to bed in my mind, just basketball, basketball, basketball. The NBA song. Just had that in my mind. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. But I just add lyrics to it. Just basketball. Anyway, listen, market's up 50. Everything's great. We've got
Nation loves the Pacers, right?
Nations love the Pacers. I mean, people have been talking about Pacers for a couple, arguably days, months, weeks, whatever. Because
years.
The Pacers, for those who don't know, the Pacers did it again. Down 15. Is that right, Matt?
Yeah, they were down 15 at one point. That was the worst. Yeah.
And Matt, let me ask you something. Did you ever stop believing?
I learned that like 18 months ago. Can't stop believing. So I watch all the games. I only go to like one a year. And the one we went to was a very similar to last night. They had somebody who scored 60 points against them, just a middle of the year game. Devin Booker scored 60 points. Pacers took a lead once in the game on a layup by Andrew Nembhard in the fourth quarter in the final seconds. So
they won. They beat him.
That was like 18 months ago. I can send you the date. But so at that moment, I learned you cannot shut off the TV. You cannot turn away. It is like a double calendar. If you watch it during the trade, crazy things can happen. What counts is your process and your exit conditions at the end. That's what matters.
Priceless analogy.
That's right.
You did not manually exit the Pacers when they were down 15. And just to follow up, I mean, listen, Matt, do you feel like the Pacers are special? Is this a special team?
Other people have said that. People with a bigger reach than the O show have said this. People who are more into statistics have, put out these statistics. And this isn't a sports betting show, and I'm not a sports bettor. I don't have any money in an account to sports bet with. But the odds in sports betting, there's a lot of analogies between sports betting and options trading. And in the playoffs, there's been, I believe, 4 games when the odds are around 96, 97, 98% against the Pacers in the last couple minutes. And I would love if somebody is a sports testing back tester to give us some back tests on that. And if you threw $10 on them, how much would you be up? Were those 50 to 1 odds? Were they 500 to 1 odds? Were they 10 to 1 odds?
Do a call fly? Is there like an upside call fly on the Pacers in the last minute? I'd put that trade.
It's got to be broken wing because you never know how high
that
would.
So Matt, tails of the curve, especially with the Pacers, are violated a lot. The tails of the curve. Yeah.
I mean, historically, some would say.
Yeah.
So I love that. And so basically, we're not a gambling show, so we should not say any more about that. Glad you guys are here. Glad to be here with you guys today. Listen, guys, Rusty's here. Had a big first week of automation. Rusty's been back down to the mines.
Yeah.
Really, literally in this case, like really just
Up and down. I've been riding the mining cart, like up and down, just because it's like I come up for air and people are like, "Hey, this is weird," and then I go into the mine and I fix something or I tweak something or it's been good though, right? The feedback means people are using it. It could be like dead silent,
Right.
Yeah.
and you're in a large mine all by yourself. Then it's for you. It's a whole different.
Listen,
mine.
Elon almost crashed the market yesterday. We survived it.
That's right.
I mean, Tesla. Is a 14% down in one day is not a crash. What did they finish at?
You buy the dip there? I mean, that's an interesting.
I mean, so
reaction.
here's 14.2% down yesterday. I think they're up pre-market this morning. But so this is super interesting because we're in this weird age where there were stock proxies for both Trump and Elon. So if you look, I mean, DJT, which people trade as I've heard them called orange stocks or mango stocks or whatever. I mean, it was down 8%. So it's a weird world, but tweets are policy. Tweets are global politics. Tweets are diplomacy. And those people have proxies that folks trade in the stock market.
Yeah.
It is a weird world.
Yeah.
Like yesterday was a low of 273 in Tesla. It looks like the opening price should be around 296 or so. So
big bounce.
Anybody who had the kahunas to maybe do a little bit of a call vertical debit spread or something yesterday.
Yeah.
Got a quick 100% return on that.
Yeah.
Man.
And it looks like it wicked out at that 273 level like 3 times and then just.
Well, it had a ton of volume. I mean, it wasn't just on low volume either. I mean, people were
right.
Oh, it was
Tesla.
real. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
people were slinging Tesla yesterday.
It's
I was
OG meme stock.
I was at the ER last night for a reason that has nothing to do with me, but I like to go to the ER at night. It's kind of my thing.
Yeah,
and it was really, really
it.
busy. But talk of the ER was Elon and Trump. So,
what was the pulse? What was the tenor, I should say, in the ER?
it was a lot of like it was hard to understand them, to be honest, with all the coughing and stuff. But anyway,
ER is a terrifying place to be.
ER is a terrifying place to play, and it was it was really, really terrible. So shout out to good friend who's done with ER now. Thanks be to God. So anyway, listen, here's the deal. We've done a big week. We've done a small account challenge this week, and we started trading this week. And guys, do you care if I just share the results?
Yeah, how did it go, Troy?
Well, let's look at it. And then
Tell us.
This is the order of operations today because Dan is a busy man. He's playing golf tournaments in Chicago, so we're going to cut it off at 9:15 this morning.
Okay,
let's do that.
Give the people their time. Big day ahead.
Didn't know you were a golfer, Dan.
I didn't either.
News to all of us, apparently.
I didn't either. Yeah.
So here's the deal. We're going to look at what happened with the 2 trades we put on this week, and then we're going to set up another one to trade today for the small account challenge. So let me, if you don't mind, I'll share my screen real quick. What has been cooking in the options trades? Oh, wait.
Wow.
Hold
on.
Wow.
There he is.
Let me.
Oh, another one.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. Wrong tab. Hold on. Oh, that's my fault. Let me. Is that it?
There it is.
Oh, there it is.
Rick Smith's cameo.
Let me.
You got a mouse in the Palace screenshot in there?
There it is.
That'd be awesome. There it is. Okay. So you guys see my screen?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, here we go. So our Monday double calendar, just to recap, if you remember, I said basically that Matt, trying to be the voice of reason as he so often is in my life, said, hey, why don't you do 1 since it's a small account challenge? And I said, no.
Oh, boy.
No. I'm going to do 10.
Okay.
So I did 10. Well, I'm glad that worked out. But we went back to 1 the next day. So the difference, it actually is a testament in my mind to DC's and then the automation platform. Because if you look at it, we put on the Monday double calendar at 3:05 p.m. we took it off Wednesday at 2:45 p.m. at the specified time. Market closed it, and we got about 21% on that. Now, what's wild is a completely different trade, different strikes, different DC, different time opened. Tuesday also closed with a almost identical win percentage.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that, guys? Pretty interesting to me.
I would say.
Oh, go ahead, Dan.
No, I'd say real quick, just from a market point of view, I think of what Matt says, keep it going, because you don't know from week to week which is going to be a great week, but in terms of environment or atmosphere for double calendars, you got a volatility. Even today, VIX looks like it'll open around 17, but you almost have a bottom on the VIX at 17 right now. So you have a nice volatility, 17 to 20 kind of range. You have wonderful break evens on the double calendar. You have a range bound environment, volatility staying high. You couldn't write a better script. For range bound in general, but especially I think the last 2-3 weeks, wouldn't you guys say the mixed month spreads to me were the clear winners, much better than the short Vega trades over the last 2-3 weeks. They beyond the 3 weeks, but I think just the last 3 weeks to say we're going to keep volatility up and we'll be in a range bound. It's like, are you kidding me? For mixed month long Vega trade. So I think it's wonderful. But again, you had the order in, and again, the patience to wait. You wouldn't have got the 20% if you didn't wait, right? You could have weaseled out early, but both trades were taken out. What was the first one, Troy? That Tuesday one that was, or the second one, the Tuesday was taken out at what was the exit on that?
2:45. Oh, sorry, 2:30. I can't read. Okay. 2:30. The next day.
Okay.
So you think about it. And let's just break down small account challenge for a second. We're trying to go into it with the idea of saying, if you had $5,000, could you get into options trading in a relatively safe way? Options involve risks, so there's always the potential for it not to be safe. But is there a way to size appropriately? And let's just think about this for a second. Let's assume both of these were 1 lots and not 10 lots. Shout out, Matt. If that top one, the Tuesday one, let's say you have $5,000 in your account. You risked, $292.
That's it.
Rusty's my quant, so I'll let you do the math on that, Rusty. But $292 of 5,000, and you made a 20% return, 21% return on that, right?
Yeah. Could
you have gone to zero? Yeah, that trade could have gone to zero. We could have opened up 400 points, and that's gone.
Yeah,
like you dead.
And so
that's the risk we're playing with. This I like sometimes when you're looking at like atomic level numbers like that. This is not atomic, but for a small account, you're looking at small account numbers. It's actually in my mind more helpful because you think about it. Like we're risking. Yeah, I'm not going to do the math live on air because I'll look like Forrest Gump.
Don't do it.
Yeah, you're risking $300 off a $5,000 account.
That's right.
And with a 1 lot. And you made 20%, you made $60, and people say, I'm never going to get rich if I make $60 a ton. Like, well, it's a craft. Listen, if you want to get rich quick, and also lose all your money quick, there's some game 2 options coming up Saturday night, I believe. And there'll be lots of opportunities to get rich or very broke very, very fast. In OKC. So this is a different game. This is a game where you're trading. It's a craft. You're learning to execute a trade. You're learning to look at something when it's down $20, $30, $40 and be okay with that because you're trusting the process. You feel good about your process. You work on your process and the outcome takes care of itself. That's Coach K. That's Bobby Knight. that's anybody in the world. You work on your process and the outcome takes care of itself. And to Tom's point, $60 is 40 hot dogs at Costco.
That's a week's worth of food. I mean,
That's right.
You do the math on that. That's $5 a day and a bonus $5 at the end of the week for a friend.
And for a Chicago basketball game, that could maybe afford parking. $60 maybe parking these days.
If you park in Indiana and walk.
Yeah, if you park in Indiana and walk. That's right.
Shout out roundabouts.
Shout out Chicago parking.
Shout out roundabouts in Indiana.
Yeah.
All right. But so here's the thing. The other thing, Stephen, great point. We should do a show on Kelly. I would love to do a show on Kelly Criterion. Here's the thing that makes me nervous about that. Kelly's notorious for being a little too aggressive. And if I've learned one thing from the OO show, I could talk 45 minutes about you shouldn't do something. Here's just a thought process to think through it. And people will follow that show with "Got it, boss," and then just do the exact thing I told you not to do because it was on a screen. So that makes me nervous. Yeah. But interesting. So guys, listen, it continues. The small account challenge continues because today we're going to automate this bad boy.
Nice.
This is a Friday 5/7. I know you guys have traded DCs before. I don't know if you've necessarily done the Qs. Rusty, Matt, Dan, what are you guys' thoughts on a Friday old 20 Delta DC?
I mean, they've been around for a long time. And my thoughts are people have trouble sticking with them, to be honest.
That's right.
But, a 20 Delta DC on Friday, there's an infinite number of variations on the time, on the deltas, and a lot of them are pretty green if you trust the process. Those are my thoughts.
One of the big fears that people are going right now is, if you look at we've been range bound, but people still can make a legitimate remark about gaps, right? Over the last 2-3 weeks, you've had some decent gaps, right? But what I like about this trade that Troy's got is you're entering it at 12:50, around lunchtime, but by the 20 Delta, you've got a lot of room here. You can handle a 40-50 point gap, right? On this type of trade. It gives you a lot of room, and so
the equivalency. Obviously a Q's 50-point gap.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so thinking of SPX always.
SPX.
Yeah, Q's is different, but it's, it gives you a lot of room. And again, it's limited risk. And what is one of these, Troy? What's the cost of one of these in the trade log? Again, $228,
It's something that you can go to bed at night and be like, I'm trading options.
Yeah.
Appropriate to the size account I have.
That's right.
If you have 5,000 or under, like a one lot of this, and people rightly, like Stephen, I like your point, like being like, this could probably be a pretty good portfolio if you size up. Well, my argument, I agree completely. My argument with this is to say, one lot is probably an appropriate size. Again, I'm guessing off the top of my head, is probably an appropriate size for that account. Risking $200 to $300 per trade is probably an appropriate sizing mechanism. Maybe not for optimal growth. That's a separate show. And Stephen, I like that idea a lot. We could maybe talk through this like optimal growth one day. This is, in my mind, like learning to trade options and making a return, Lord willing, that is healthy, that you could then, but with risk parameters on, to where you could feel good. You go to bed, you sleep at night. None of us want to trade stuff where at night you're sitting there having to watch futures all night, because if Elon says one more thing, it goes terrible.
Well, it also helps you to trust the platform. So if you start small like this, Troy, right? Not only do you, your point, like rest well outside of hours, but hopefully during the duration of the trade, you're not having to stare at it every 2 seconds and fidget with it and then get out of the trade because you're nervous. Like, trust that you have risk management parameters in there, right? Monitor it, make sure that everything's working with the platform and all that, of course. But the point is, you shouldn't be like, oh, I don't know, I'm up 5%. I should exit and take the money and run. Like, it's $200, so it helps you think, let's just see it through. Let's just see it through. And if you can do that on the little things, hopefully you could grow your account and then trust it when you have a lot more money on.
And the probabilities, wouldn't you say, as far as because of the rails you have on there, the risk management, the probabilities of losing the whole thing, right? I mean, it's sized appropriately, 1 or 2 contracts, small account, but you're going to be exited before then. You got what's your risk management? You got the short long ratio, and you got leg deltas.
Yeah.
You've got some major helpers, I think, from a risk management point of view there.
Sorry, I was drinking coffee. Yeah, I agree completely. And again, Matt was sending me a message because Matt's smarter than me and was saying, hey, why don't we take the getting out time to a smaller time, to the risk of assignment. 354, you're playing with fire a little bit.
Yeah.
So we changed it to 225, and that's just as good. That's completely fine.
Yeah, and just for clarity, again, there's 3 exits on this. So the early exit is going to happen, most of it, a little bit more than half the time, but it's also common for one of the leg deltas to get hit. You can see the below deltas and the above deltas in the log and the below short long ratios. So again, there's no stop loss on that. Those aren't stop losses. Those are just exits. So it's a trade with 3 exits.
Risk management. Yeah.
But the exits are risk management. That's right.
Yeah, because it could mean revert, right? You've done this. We've all done this, right? You say, oh, it's getting tested on the downside here. We got price movement. You're like, oh, it'll mean revert. It'll mean revert. Well, the whole point is to say maybe it won't. What if it dumps 100 points overnight, or who knows what? You just take it off. You take your lump. And what's great is Troy, if you go to the stats at the top, the average winner versus the average loser, by managing it this way, you're winning on average more than you're losing at a 57% clip. That's a great trade. Keep it safe. Again, it'll help you, especially if you're new, small account. It'll help you trust, your process and not fidget and not stare at the thing all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's exactly right. And the thing about the deltas that I love about delta exits is it's playing the options game at its own game. I mean, below delta acts as a stop loss until it doesn't act as a stop loss. And that's the beauty of it. So just as an example, May 9th, you put it on when price is 487. You get above, you get above your strike by a few points.
Big weekend.
And you take it off as soon as we can, 932, because it's below delta, right? Well, you still had 2 days left in this trade, but we got you out. That acted as a stop because of those deltas. Well, let's look at this one. Friday, put it on Friday, April 4th, 12:55, as we always do with this trade. This one goes till Wednesday.
Yeah.
Right? Similar, you're past your short strike on the call side. But because so much time has passed, the gamma of that trade has changed, and therefore the delta of that trade has changed.
It's an exit. It's not a profit target. It's an exit, but it's an exit for a profit.
That's exactly right.
And I think that's such a great point you brought up, because people get, I think, confused sometimes. If you hit the short strike on a double calendar 2 hours into the trade, it's Houston, we got a problem.
Right.
If you hit 3 points in Qs past your short strike late in the trade, Houston, we're happy, right? It's a wonderful thing. So I think these rails are, they're very powerful. I mean, in terms of the risk management world, and it'll protect you from yourself, and you can't, and again, it takes out that getting nervous on the trade, letting it work, because I just think it, and that one trade you just showed, Troy, I think it was in May. On that trade, when it went in the money, I think you only lost 21% compared to your winners. That's not, wasn't, I think I saw there that May one. Yeah, 21% max. So it got you out once it got in the money. Yeah, I think that was.
Yeah, and that delta acts. I mean, that's when it's below delta early. I mean, it's Halliburton has made 2 points so far. When
tough quarter,
when
tough half,
tough quarter, tough half, tough 3 quarters. As we approach expiration, sometimes Halliburton scored 2 points, can win you the game.
That's right.
And listen. So we haven't done it yet. I was almost out of time. Let me go back here real quick. So let's do this. Let's automate it. I'm going to go is active. I'm going to go is main margin. I'm going to go fixed quantity. Do 1. I am going to go in 1 cent increments every 5 seconds for 10 tries. Anything else you think we should add to this, fellas?
I mean,
give it an entry window of maybe 3 minutes to open,
3 minutes.
In case it doesn't get a fill right away, or there's some underlying movement and it's jumping around. It might take a couple minutes to enter something like this. It's a little bit longer duration in terms of the expirations.
Yep. Anything else?
I mean, I think for now this is fine. You might, just a thought, between now and the time this goes on, you might randomize the minute a little bit. And the other thing you might do is look at how the
randomize the minute.
Sure, the entry minute. If you want to change the entry minute a little bit, we talked about that on the show the other day. The other up to Jacko, move conflicted strikes. Thank you.
That's true. Do you have exact strike offsets on with this one? You do already. Have the green padlock.
Yeah.
So I would. Yeah. There you go. That way, if it's 22 delta versus 20, who cares? I mean, it's not gonna make.
Right. Yeah. Final thought is it might be worth it, and this is not something to do in the next 2 minutes because we're leaving in 2 minutes. Happy Friday, everybody. Is look at the entry execution on previous DCs that you did this week and make adjustments based on your own experience if that was a good entry execution setup for you as a user or not.
And exits.
Yeah, on both. Yep.
Yeah. If you notice, for example, on a downside exit, right? So you're really long delta, so you're above delta, because you're getting tested on the downside. Maybe it's a little hotter than on the upside, and maybe you could do overrides for that kind of thing. Anyway, just a thought.
Great advice. Dan, I know you need to head out. We can talk for 2 more minutes, guys, if you guys want. But Dan, blessings to you going back to Knoxville. Be safe.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dan.
Go Pacers. Thank you.
Pacers.
Go Pacers.
Yeah. Listen, I think looking at this, I will say from watching it this week, the Qs are liquid. the fills on the
liquid.
Fills on the Qs are a lot faster than SPX.
That's interesting. Yeah. I bet.
We're used to SPX being so liquid, and it is obviously very liquid for the size, especially. It's impressive. Like SPY and Q are almost insta fill. Like they are liquid products. So again, but we're doing DCs and we're doing longer duration, to Rusty's point. So sometimes that might take a little bit longer. But guys, any other thoughts? I mean, we've got it now. We've got 3 in the hopper for the small account challenge. I'm going to try to find a Rick I like just to do it, just to say I did it. I don't know.
Throw that out to the chat. See
well,
see
I don't
if
like
there's any
it.
ideas.
I don't know.
I'll say this about the Rick. If we got a few, right?
Yeah.
Dan's out, so we got a little bit.
Yeah.
It is interesting if you pull up a Rick backtest that it has not performed as well recently. And so you start to say, and I would even say in recent memory, it has done poor than it has in years and years. And I have backtests that go to like 2017 for Rick.
Yeah.
So that do well, but they have some downtimes. And so you start to think, why is it doing poorly right now? Well, let's think about it, right? Like the trade the entry condition is what? VIX is down overnight. So you're basing an entire trade over an overnight signal.
That's right.
So how would that be impacted by intraday news, right? So if intraday news is outsized, or overnight news is outsized compared to intraday news, it's going to impact the RIC, and maybe that signal's not so important anymore, right? Because it's kind of an
Fascinating
arbitrage.
point.
You're saying, I'm going to buy premium, right? I'm going to pay for premium when it's cheap, banking that some kind of news during the day is going to move it, right? But if you have geopolitical news being released overnight over and over and over again, maybe that's the signal rather than intraday. I'm just spitballing. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, or maybe the chat.
I mean, it'd be super interesting. A concept that I haven't seen a lot of work on it would be a 1-day TE RIC. And that would be a fascinating concept.
Over an overnight RIC, even.
An overnight RIC. A 1DT RIC overnight. Yeah. So interesting. Maybe a challenge for the chat. Shout out chat. Maybe some 1DT RICs would be interesting to backtest.
And the 1DT thing, I mean, while we're just talking theoretical, and we are, and listen, guys, we shout out to the chat. We are talking theoretical.
We're in theory land.
This is theory land. So don't
Candyland.
Yeah, like please make a backtest, but also like, guys, come on, you're killing me. Some of these anyway. The
yes,
media
sirs.
coverage, the lack of media coverage on the Pacers.
That's true.
Anyway,
True.
When you think about like an overnight play with that type of stuff, what is a RIC? A reverse iron condor. You want movement. You're long gamma.
Gotta
right?
have it.
You got to have movement. So when you're thinking about these things, don't get locked into the box of a RIC. That'd be my encouragement.
Good challenge.
There are some things that you can do, the beauty of options, and structure them in a way. The way someone just said it in the chat, Tom, yeah. The way you have to structure those overnight things, my guess, theory, is you have to do it to where you are not going to get vol crushed to death. That's the only way that thing's going to survive, and that's a challenge in options land.
Tom, you're jumping ahead. You're so right.
How do you do something that's not going to get vol crushed if nothing happens, and has the potential to profit from a large move?
Maybe a different structure than a RIC.
It's 100% a different structure than a RIC, but the same type of you want long gamma. I mean, I'll give you that. You want long gamma going into that thing, but you don't necessarily. Well, I'll just say it with theory. You want long gamma, but you want to try to mute your Vega. You want to benefit from Vega, but you don't want to get killed by Vega too. So, challenge to the boys, challenge to the weekend. Anyway, listen, Matt's got to sleep at some point. What's the closest casino to Indianapolis?
Don't even. There's some around here.
Yeah.
I don't frequent them.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for being one of the few that kind of stuck with your team when everybody was abandoning them.
It took a lot of sacrifice.
It takes a lot of sacrifice, but you're doing it the right way. You're being a good player. So,
Ground up, build the portfolio through hard work. Just grind every week. Don't listen to the people. Don't listen to the haters who aren't grinding in there with you.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite sports things, and I would do it if I was a coach. I would definitely, no one believed in us. I'd be like,
where's this going?
It cracks me up, the sports analogy where it's like no one believed in us. Like, there's not enough people in the world to not care about all the teams whose coaches say they didn't believe in us.
That's every coach, every team.
That's
Pacers actually haven't said that, but yes.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like everybody. So anyway, listen, shout out to the chat. You guys did good this week. We'll keep going. Next week, we'll have some more small account. I'm excited because next week we're going to have like a portfolio of trades by the end of it.
Woo!
And that's when you really start seeing the benefit of it. Last announcement, I put this in our Discord. I recorded a call with some bros of mine who wanted to learn options.
What?
I'm editing that, and that's going to be a new. I'm going to go ahead and announce it today, Friday. We're going to
Okay.
have a new once a week show, date to be determined, called
Okay.
Learning Options with the Bros. And it's going to be people. If you've listened to this before and you're like, I have no idea what a Rick is, they're throwing around Germanic languages, like it's like they're just tossing language around. I have no idea what they're talking about. I don't even know what a call is. If that's you, shout out to you for finding this YouTube in the first place. Shout out for you. But two, we want something for you too, because we think that we really do think that options can be, they're leveraged, and so if you do it right, they can be really, really interesting ways to make income from trading, but also set up in a way that's safe, and that's what we love about options.
Did you find these guys at the ER?
I went through there and I was like, you guys, who doesn't have insurance and needs some quick cash?
Yeah.
And then
Jeez.
I filtered them out.
Okay.
And then I said,
Where's this going? This
Who
got
can
hard.
stick to a process
who has insurance and has some disposable income
and can stick to a process?
and can
I
stick
think
to
the
it?
show is officially off the rails this morning.
show's
We're
over now.
see what happens when Dan leaves us. We're like
Yeah.
children running around.
Dan literally left, and then I said, "Hey, are we going to Harris tonight? Are we going back to Harris tonight? Are we doing the Harris thing?"
What
Anyway, all right, guys. Listen, have a great weekend.